Hey, thanks for clicking the video and for watching it, hopefully. We're going to have a conversation today with Shepard Jones, who worked in like every department that exists and every role at Evermore. That might be an exaggeration. There's roles like CEO and stuff that you
Yeah,
you didn't go close to
I
touching.
was I was in almost every department. I'm thinking about it. Hair and makeup. I didn't do anything with makeup. I've at least helped in every department. Yeah,
Nick.
I never helped with makeup, and I think I helped a little bit with costuming, but it was mostly like helping move things away during the seasons.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today.
yeah.
Um, the first question I always ask, repetitive or not, is how did you first find out about Evermore? How did it first come across your consciousness?
Yeah, so I had recently moved. I was born and raised in Alabama, and I had recently gotten married. I'm not married anymore, but life happens, and we were newly married. Came out to Utah. We were living, finding new fun things to do, and we were a very nerdy couple looking for very nerdy activities to do, and we went to FanX in 2018. We were walking around. It was the biggest convention I've ever been to. They had conventions in Alabama, but trust me, they were nowhere close to even Utah. And I know that Utah's not even that crazy. But we were walking around, and I remember that we like started hearing whispers of Evermore. Like we were
Before you even got to the booth, people were kind
Yes,
of
yeah,
chatting about
yeah.
it
It
elsewhere.
was crazy. Like, because we ran into people, I had served a Mormon mission, all that kind of stuff. And we were like running into, me and my wife, we served the same mission. And we were running into like a bunch of mission friends, all that kind of stuff. And they were like, "Hey, did you check out this Evermore thing?" And we were like, "No, we didn't." And so we just kept hearing like, "Oh, it's this like place you can dress up, you can go into it, like play around in this little place." And there's a booth right over there. You can go to it, and it's. I remember specifically them saying that it was a little bit scary in there because they were prepping for lore.
Yeah, that was the
Um,
kickoff season.
yes, yeah, that was the first lore that they did, and I don't. At that time, I didn't do scary. I'm not go scary, not go jump scares. So I never went into the booth.
No!
But we were kind of out of it. I think there was also like a charge to get in.
You had
Um,
to pay to get in the booth from your understanding.
I think so. I
Okay.
don't quote me on that one. I can't remember whether you did or not, but I think there was like words passed around that like you have to charge to like go into the tent. But there were like characters on the outside of it, and they were talking, talking to people and all that kind of stuff. So I think we kind of poked around. I was pretty shy at the time, so I didn't go up and talk to them. But we saw it, and there was cool night stuff and cool like it sounded like everything that I wanted. Especially growing up as that kid who like would get together with friends. We would find the coolest stick, and we would just hit each
Yeah.
other with sticks, and play these like imaginary games. Like that was my jam. That was everything that I wanted. And then I found out that I could do it as an adult was the sickest thing ever. And so I wanted to. We really wanted to go, but we didn't until Aurora.
So, what made you think about it again months later, like after the first season was already over?
I think it was like a little combination of like money.
Gotcha.
I think from what I remember, the price tickets were a lot more around that time than near the end of everything. Uh,
Yeah, and you were talking about you went on a Mormon mission,
yeah,
so you would have been um people get married relatively young in that culture. So I
there
imagine
was.
you weren't like well into your career or anything
I
during
got I
that
got
at all.
married 3 days after 3 days before my year mark of being home, if that makes sense.
Okay, so
So
less
like
than a
the day
year
that I
after being
moved out
back.
to Utah was the day that I oh, it was a year later from when I came home from my mission.
So when you say you were newly married when you moved to Utah, you mean like first week of
Like I think yeah, first like month or so.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay, cool. Yeah, I was kind of getting off pace there or off the path, but
No,
like
no,
yeah,
you're
like
fine. Yeah.
Evermore cost a lot of money, and you had to pay every
Yeah.
single time that you went, and
Yeah.
you probably weren't in like a that wasn't easy to do at the time, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I was driving, like we were living in Provo at the time, and I was working at 1-800 Contacts up in like Salt Lake. So I was doing like an hour commute there and back every single day. So money didn't go to fun things as much in those.
Yeah.
But I remember that we started hearing like, oh, Aurora is like Dickensian.
Mhm.
It's meant to be very Charles Dickens, and I can do that. That's not scary to me. So yeah, we just planned to go, and we got dressed up, and we went, and yeah, it was very interesting.
What happened? What was it like?
Um, Not of this is as you probably know, not a lot of explanation was happening.
Yeah.
I tried to follow like D&D logic and video game logic and go straight to a tavern.
Mhm.
All adventures begin at taverns is a very common thing that is said, and I heard that they had a tavern. And so as we all know, for people who know the map of Evermore, you have to go like a pretty far out of the way and dodge a lot of buildings to get to the tavern. But that was like I was dead set. We got to go to the tavern first, and it was just really cool. There were a lot of like really nice prosthetics. There was a satyr that had like a really nice prosthetic mask that I did a lot of talking to, which was really cool because when I actually became an actor, I later got to wear that mask for
Yeah.
it was for Oktoberfest. I got to wear the mask, but then I got too hot and ended up not.
That's the
Yeah,
risk of masks
yeah.
in what is the summer. The Oktoberfest is actually in a hot period of
Yes.
the year.
Yeah. So it was cool that that's how I started and how I ended. And there were a lot of like really cool characters. They were just really chill. Um, really nice to just go and wear this like cool dress up costume that you get to walk around a beautiful place. Even then, it was beautiful. There was, of course, a lot of buildings that weren't finished, but I remember I didn't even get to finish like looking at the whole place that first time that we went because we just spent so much time in the tavern, and so much time
Yeah.
talking to all these characters and stuff. Uh,
So you said that it wasn't clearly explained to you how you're supposed to interact with the park, but it sounds like
yeah,
you kind of like got a feel for it through your time in the night.
yes,
Like,
yeah.
did you
I think
go
they
on
were
any
giving us
quests? Was
like
there anything that you did that they like sent you to do, or did you
they
just
told us to. I don't think we
okay,
completed any of the quests,
gotcha.
but they told us to. I think they also gave us like a little card, like a little adventurer's card.
Oh,
It was like, here's quests that you can do. That might have been later though.
gotcha.
That might have been like the next mythos or something like that. But I remember that they did have like they eventually had cards that gave you quests to do.
Hmm. Do you
Um,
still have those lying around, or probably lost in the time between?
I I almost definitely do. I just couldn't tell you where they're at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of stuff like that too.
yeah, yeah. I have a lot of cool things from Evermore, but they're currently at my home, uh,
Gotcha.
and I'm somewhere else right now. So yeah,
Cool. Okay, sweet. So yeah, once you went there that first time, you got your first impressions of Evermore. That's when
yeah,
you started like coming back like relatively regularly. You would check in with the park.
yes, yeah. Relatively, I'm again money
Yeah.
made it a little bit difficult. I think it was like 30 per person at that time. It might have been more. I can't remember. But it was relatively pricey. But I we tried to go like once a month,
Hmm.
um, which at those times you miss a day and you miss a lot of plot in those times. So we really didn't go for like the main overarching story. We really just went to like see people, see what they had, what new costumes were there, what new characters you could interact with. And then eventually the guilds were a big part of it, especially when they started like adding in ranking. Like you could rank up in the guilds as a world walker. That was the stuff that like I ate up. I wanted to keep going because of that.
Nice.
I lo-
Which guild did you participate in most frequently?
I was actually part of the Black Hearts,
Okay, cool.
which a lot of people apparently I heard mixed reviews on how people felt about the Black Hearts.
Like thematically, like as an
Yeah,
organization, or like how the gameplay was through that line.
thematically.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it was, and I kind of just heard that a lot of people were like, "Oh, the Black Hearts tend to be a little bit more toxic." I never really experienced that, but again, I wasn't around it that close, you
Mhm.
know. I really
But
just went to be a Black Heart, you know.
yeah, it sounds like your general approach at this time
Yeah,
was like kind of
yeah,
vibes based. You weren't like trying to like dive in and investigate everything that
yeah,
was going on a
yeah.
lot.
Hmm.
The Black Hearts being toxic, other like guests of the park that were
That was
taking
kind of
like the
the things
actual.
that were being passed around. Yeah,
Gotcha.
was
Okay.
was like guests kind of had that opinion of other Black Hearts. I don't know if it was like I don't know what drew to what to what. Was it the black hearts that made people toxic, or were toxic people drawn to it, or was it just a matter of opinion? I have no idea. I just like
Yeah.
to be a monster hunter, and that the leader at the time had a southern accent, and it reminded me of home.
Yeah.
Loved that he was a cowboy. That was so cool to me.
I love that. So even back then, it was like a cowboyish thing with Black Hearts because I'm
Um,
new to the game in terms of yeah
yeah, it
stuff
was
back
only
then.
one. There's only one guy who was like his character. He was from I don't know some part of America.
Dude,
Um,
what was the character's name?
Drake.
Drake. Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We interviewed him
Yeah.
earlier on the
Hmm.
channel.
Hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha.
He was somebody who like I met and I was like, this guy is the coolest guy. He was always friendly to and he was always friendly to me.
Hmm.
And I just really I loved his vibe. I loved that he was just a Southern guy that was just howdy. And yeah, I just loved it. So
Okay, cool.
I was going to be not a mystic, the the magic people, the coven.
Yeah.
I was going to
It-
join the coven, and then I they had us go to a different guilds to talk to them, and then the person who I talked to, it was a part of her character, but she was just like very rude. Um,
um,
and so I went to the Black Hearts, and I was like, "You guys aren't rude at all. I'm going to join you." And
so just
that's
cut out in the middle
ultimately
of
how
that
that
other
happened.
quest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Who
So
was the person in the coven, the character?
I don't remember her name.
That's fine. There's been hundreds of characters at Evermore, so I can't
Been
remember what
many,
was.
many characters. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sweet. So you continue. Okay, that would have been in 2018 because you were saying
Hmm.
it was like the season right after the opening one that you
Yeah,
went, and then
yeah.
you were continuing to go through like 2019.
Hmm.
When did you first get involved with the park as an employee?
So that was like right after the shutdown in 2020.
The
I
shutdown. So the COVID shutdown, not the one
Yes,
where they like did a huge layoff and like got rid
yes,
of a bunch of people.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So
sweet.
COVID had started. They kind of brought it back, and then they had the season of Pyra. And so I that's when I started. And I was
Okay, cool.
yeah, I was doing operations at that time. Um,
What specific stuff were you doing in operations?
I did quite a few things. During Pyra, they had Evermore. Let's see, Evermore Epics. I
Oh
don't know if
yeah.
you've ever heard of that. Yeah. So my one of my jobs was to sell the epics, like
Okay,
epic.
gotcha. And
Um,
I guess for other people who are like maybe following Evermore more loosely, epics were a different approach that they had to storytelling, where it
yes. Yeah.
was you would pay for the ability to go on kind of a structured walkthrough, like a
Hmm.
scripted, in
Yeah.
quotations marks, interactive thing where you would go through the path and you would make decisions while you
Hmm.
were going through that would like impact the story. But
Yes. And they
um
would do it like weeks at a time. So like and I kind of loved the epics. I've heard different thoughts and feelings on the epics, but like my stance on it was a really nice way for people who aren't able to come every single week to like come in and see what's going on in the story. You had, I think, one or two weekends to be able to like see what that story was that week. Um,
yeah.
and it was really cool. Like different decisions led to different results, and whatever that result, the main result happened, that was what became the canon event
Mhm.
of the
Like
story.
most frequently occurred
Yes, yeah.
is
So
what
if a lot
happened.
of people, I remember it was honestly almost traumatizing. One of the scenes where you had to deal with like a hostage situation,
Oh
uh,
no.
and it was one of like your favorite characters. Like it was, I feel like they chose a beloved character on purpose. Um, and every time you made like the wrong choice, they would take the actor in and they would make like pounding sounds as if they were chopping off the fingers of that character.
Oh,
Um,
fun.
so every time you made the wrong choice, your favorite character got harmed,
Yeah, it's your
which
fault
was
and they're being
and the
tortured.
screams stayed with me. I hear them sometimes in my head. It was like genuinely great acting, but traumatizing, and I think that's
Yeah.
kind of the beauty of it. But I also there were times that like because I started working there, I got to go in for free, so I definitely made use of that. Um, and so I tried to go to epics. I tried to get to every single epic. Um,
Yeah.
and
How
so then
frequently were you able to do that? Like with scheduling in ops
mhm.
at Evermore, is it like that you got a lot of days off, or is it like, oh, when we're open, y'all are
Yeah,
here? Like, was that hard?
there was a good amount of ops when I was there, so there were decent opportunities for us to have days off.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Um, when I became an actor, though, my days off were a little bit less. Um,
Yeah, you
we'll,
needed
we'll,
to
we'll
be
get
there in case people
yeah,
wanted to talk to you and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. But yeah, I remember I tried to get to every single epic, and that I tried to do it so I could like when I was selling tickets to the epics, I could be like, oh well, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would be like, hey, do this so then, we can get my outcome, and all that kind of stuff. It
Yeah.
would be playful, of course. I wouldn't, push anyone, but you know,
Leave them the agency to do what they want.
yes, yeah,
That is kind of interesting because it sounds like you took it upon yourself to like take time out of your free time and do the research to figure
yeah.
out what was going on in there. If you hadn't done that, was there any communication to people on the ops side of like what the story team was doing so that they could give people more of an idea? Hey, Timmy, you're about to see somebody's fingers get chopped, or like
We
did
were
that not
told
come up?
we we weren't told as much as I wish we would have been.
Yeah,
I think we were kind of told like if you want to know exactly what's happening, go and do it, kind of thing. I
yeah,
think we got to do the epics for free anyways, so like it wasn't taking money out of our wallet.
this
Uh,
time.
but the we would get like very brief synopsis of what was happening in that epic that week, and we would specifically be told the rating. Um,
Oh, like how mature of an
yeah,
audience
yeah. So
would
we
be
would
appropriate.
tell people when it was like, oh, this one's going to be PG-13, so like enter at your own risk. This one may not be for the kids.
Gotcha. Okay. And like, did that end up happening? Like, were there times where you said to people, like, you can't engage with the core storytelling method in the park right now? Or,
Yeah, it was. We had a couple of mixed. Sometimes people would be like, "Oh, it's PG-13, well, whatever," and it would be this toddler,
yeah.
being dragged.
Like, they've seen worse.
But also, yeah, and I'm like, this kid doesn't even know where he is. He just saw a fairy walk past him, and he's lost. So I'm not too worried about it. He's gonna hear
Yeah.
I am, and it's gonna be whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember it ever being too big of a problem. Uh,
Okay.
Nobody complained to me, at least.
Yeah. Sweet. I think that the Epic's method of storytelling is really interesting. I think that the camps come down. I think that the reason that some people didn't appreciate it as much is that it was less organic. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't that you just come into the park and you're encountering, like, it was a walkthrough,
Mhm.
it was a guided thing. But I also think that aside from that minority that comes to Evermore frequently and knows how to navigate those spaces, the random people who are just showing up for a day probably loved it because it wasn't like it
Yeah.
was more guided. You actually know, okay, show up to this thing. We're going to literally walk you through the story
Mhm.
and like help give structure to how this is played, which is the main problem people complain about is that they
Yeah.
have no idea what to do.
Yes, yeah. And if you tell them, well, if you want to get engaged with the story, boy, can I tell you the easiest way to do it. You
Yeah.
and the park was
For
still,
the small price of what? Do you recall?
I think it was, I want to say it was like 20 per person.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Like another additional. Well, no,
It
because they
wasn't
actually did decrease the normal
because they
fee,
did, yeah.
right?
They decreased the general price of getting in, but
Yeah.
then they add the
It kind of
one the
offset a little
problem
bit.
with it is like some of the most beautiful places in the park were closed.
Yeah, you couldn't access them
Yeah,
unless you
like
paid
this.
up
I
front.
remember that the first Aurora, the thing that like, I mean, I was already in love with it, but the thing that like sold it for me, and I like was truly in love with Evermore and being there was when I went past the staircase leading up to the statue of
The
Saint
statue.
Michael.
Yeah.
And at that time, I don't think they ever did it after this, but they had like these arcs going over the staircase leading up to it, and it framed everything like truly so perfectly.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
it looked gorgeous. And that's like when I fell in love with it.
Shout
And
out to
I,
Josh Stedman from the previous interview, probably. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and
And
it would
they
have still
also,
been a fountain at that point, right? Maybe just barely.
they what?
I think it would have still been a functioning fountain at that time too. Like if it was
No, I don't think it
when
ever
you were,
no fountain.
yeah. Okay. Well, then,
I don't think they ever got the waterworks going on that one.
I've seen I've seen
Did
the
you?
waterworks going. Yeah. I've seen
I never
footage and
did.
pictures of it functioning.
Huh.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, a really brief period of
I
time.
don't think it would have been working then because it was winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every winter, water features worked less and less until the final winter of Evermore, the bathroom was just closed off.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
recall. Okay, cool.
But St. Michael did have a sword at that time, so that was cool.
Yeah, he wasn't
Cool to
about to
see
just
that
like
sword.
punch a guy
Yes,
or
instead
whatever
of
with
him
like
just full on bare knuckling it. Yeah.
solid. Okay, dope. So yeah, you were there selling tickets for Epics. What other
Yeah.
cool stuff did you do on the ops side?
So yeah, tickets. I would sell tickets just for general admission. We just kind of did everything. Um, but eventually, as time went on, it was me and this other guy on ops. I became pretty good friends with him. His name's Ty. Miss him dearly. I haven't talked to him in a while. I haven't talked to a lot of people in a while, to be honest. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Reach out to Ty.
I should reach out to
Say
Ty.
hello to Ty
Ty, if
after
you're
we
watching
hang
this,
up.
I'm so sorry, man. I love you. I miss you. Um, but we were on ops together, and there came a point where we needed they needed somebody to run the train and somebody to run archery.
Okay. So would you guys trade off every time?
Yes, yeah.
Sick.
So we both learned how to like operate the train.
Okay.
I still
And
kind
archery, which seems like there
yeah.
should be some training there as well.
There was kind of. It was mostly security because security
Okay.
was the one that was running it for the longest. Like from the beginning of the train until then, it was security that ran the train, which was
Okay.
an interesting choice. I don't know why that choice was made, but it was.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
yeah, maybe not the best to be locked up on a a machine that's like away from the
maybe
rest of the
not.
guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and I remembered something.
Yeah.
The last interview. I'm so bad with names, but the
The
guy.
the last one was Josh Stedman, the
Yes,
former Imagineer. Yeah.
and he was talking about how the train tunnel was haunted.
Yeah, he said he got bad vibes in there.
I have heard a ghost story from the security about that in particular, that train tunnel.
In that hallway,
Hmm.
something that happened. It didn't
There,
happen to you, but you heard somebody else.
it was one of the security guys. It was the guy who trained me on train. Uh,
Gotcha.
he said that he was like doing a nightly search, making sure that everyone was out, nobody was hiding in the tunnel and everything. Nobody was in the park. Like it was a day that,
After close, kind of.
yeah,
Oh, not even a day that it was open.
yeah. It wasn't
Okay.
even a day that it was open. It was just a general like, hey, we've got to make sure that nobody's snuck into the park. And he told me that like he was walking through the tunnel. He had this flashlight. He was looking, and he was making it to the front
Oh,
of
so it's closer to the center of the.
it would have been a little bit towards the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
Um, kind of close to where Hunter's Hovel was.
Yeah.
And he said that he started to hear this like intense bone scratching sound coming from the front of the train,
Yeah.
which is interesting because the front of the train is just mechanics. There's no like engine, the engine is in the back one. But he was hearing
Oh,
this, like bone scratching sound. And he was like, I don't know what this is. He called and they were like, we don't know what it is either. And they couldn't find the sound, like where it was coming from. But he
yeah.
heard like this intense, like bone crunching sound. It was crazy. I don't know. I'm not doing a great job of telling you this story, but I remember him telling it to me and it freaked me out. And it, I struggled with the train. I struggled operating the train.
It
Um,
was difficult about it. What do you mean?
the reason why
How trains work. I just
no, you're good. So
look
it
at
was a
them.
diesel ran train. Like it was, it just ran off of diesel.
Okay.
Uh, but the thing that like, I don't know if I'll get in trouble. So we'll say if we need to pause it and skip it, and you need to
Oh
edit
no,
the
I don't.
video,
That's against the rules. I've never
um,
paused and skipped.
we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Um, I don't think I'm still under NDA anyway, so it's okay.
So what
Uh,
company? I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
kidding.
What are they going to do? Fire me? So there was one time that I was operating the train. We were going down that hill past the
Over by the tavern on the other side.
yes, yeah, and I noticed that there's this little handle that you're supposed to pull towards you to go, and you have to like hold it there. That's how you control the speed of it.
So if you ever let it go, the train will stop on its own.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it's gonna stop, but it's gonna be like very aggressive stop. Yeah, it's a
Oh,
very
it'll yank shut.
yes, yeah, it's
Okay.
a very controlled system.
Yeah.
And if you want to go backwards, you have to pull it away from you, and it's all
Okay.
it's a very technical machine. But I was going down that hill, and we were just going faster and faster and faster, and I wasn't controlling that speed. I was meaning to slow down.
Yeah. That was the problem with that hill. It was difficult
Yes, yeah,
for everybody.
and I couldn't control the speed. We were going too fast. I tried pulling the air brakes. It didn't work. I tried pulling on the horn. That didn't work. And
So
I
everything was disconnected. What do you like? Okay.
sometimes it was genuinely sometimes the air compression just stopped.
Hmm.
And
Gotcha.
and it would
So
result
even
in that.
even the horn would have gone out in a
It would
moment.
have gone out. Yeah. And it
Okay.
did. I remember I also at this time they had just gotten the like sound system up on it, so you could talk to them and you were supposed to like give a tour and all that kind of stuff, which I
Yeah.
loved doing.
You did
But
you didn't just silently drive around. You like gave
yeah,
a
so
I'll ask more about that after you're done. I'm
half
sorry.
an yeah. When they first started, they had like a whole tour, and I took a lot of what their tour was onto mine, and it was really fun. But they had just gotten that up, and the air brakes went out, and I was freaking out, and I had to like put the microphone down, and I just started swearing, and I was like, "Please hold on," and I was like trying to do pull levers and honk and all these kinds of things, and none of it was working. And I was just freaking out, and I don't know if they heard me swearing, but I think I did it loud enough that they probably would have heard.
Well, the
Um,
place where you're driving the train is like 6 feet away from the first car.
yes, yeah.
It's a big buffer.
Yeah. So after that ride, I was like, I cannot, if something bad happens, I cannot battle with that in my mind.
Yeah.
Like that is
Like
a lot
carry
of
the weight with you
responsibility,
past
that's
the
a lot of
train.
weight.
You
That
forgot to do something.
that's too much for me.
So at that
So,
point, you started only working at the archery range where no one
mhm.
could possibly get injured. Um,
Yeah.
everything would be fine there.
It,
Safe.
at least I knew where the arrows were going.
Yeah.
And I also one of the reasons why I did start being the archery like range master was because um, I used to do I worked at a Boy Scout camp like right before I went out on my mission,
Oh,
and I
cool.
specifically taught archery.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you were you were the prime candidate for that
Yeah,
all
yeah,
along. Like this is maybe the best option.
yeah. And then Ty also knew archery. I don't remember why he knew archery so well, but like
Ask
we
him.
were like a whole dynamic duo. And I remember at that time, ops started. We were starting to be allowed to wear costumes as ops. Uh,
Oh, okay.
we used to not be able to. We could only wear like our black Evermore shirts.
Was it like a you would get a necklace level of costume, or was there some differentiation between like how character you were?
Yes, we got a blue neck or yellow necklace.
Okay. So like an official like, hey, like I'm a representative of the park, but not a not
Nobody ever,
the exact one.
yeah, nobody ever treated us that way.
Yeah. Actually, that's something that I think about a lot. Did you, this is my perception.
Mhm,
When I was working there as an actor, I
mhm.
felt like ops thought that we thought we were better than them. Well, I never felt that way, and I think most people didn't, but they definitely treated us with like a revenge type of like oh actors like we're not going to talk to them. And I'm like, hey guys, like I want to be friends. But
Yeah.
did you feel that when you were in ops that you were thought of as less than or anything like that?
Me and some other people. I remember I talked to a couple other people about it. That was honestly the most interesting, like me going from not being an actor or not being from going to being a world walker to an ops person. You know, unemployed to employed by the company. That wasn't near as enough of like an interesting thing as it was of going from ops to being an actor.
Huh.
Because our perception when I was in ops, and I talked to a lot of people about this, is we thought that the actors were the coolest people ever.
Oh, really?
So cool, and like we couldn't like we gotta give them their space. We gotta give them their time. We gotta do our thing. We're here to support them, kind of thing. And we're lucky to do so because they're cool and they were cool. Like they were really good at what they did. They were very kind to us, like all that kind of stuff. But I think we almost had like a sort of we gave them a little bit of a complex that wasn't actually there.
Yeah.
You know?
Which made sense as you're about to say from once you get onto the other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Okay. But maybe some of what I was perceiving wasn't like disgust. It was just
Yeah.
like we'll give them their space or whatever and not bug them kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it
Okay.
changed over time.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was disgust by the time I worked there.
yeah. I think by the time you were there, it was a very different thing.
Okay.
Uh,
We'll get into that later too, I guess. But
yeah. There's a lot of things we can get into.
yeah,
Uh,
I said a second ago I was going to talk about like what it was like to give like the tour on the train
yeah.
and like didn't bring that back up
Yeah, no, no, you're
on the
good.
train.
I actually this kind of brings me into a lot of what I did extra work for Evermore a lot, and I did a lot of tours.
Mhm.
Um, I actually like would bring like investors and stuff, and I would give tours to them. Um,
What kind of stuff would you talk about? Like when you were giving the tour, were you like, hey, these buildings are built after this theme and like constructed in this way? Or were you
yeah,
like, the story of Evermore that we're trying to promote is this? Because there's like two very different sides of Evermore.
yeah. I it depended on the group mostly.
Hmm.
So this is getting a little bit later into my experience of working at Evermore, but we'll skip some things. Um, I used to do field trips for schools. I, I say for schools.
Yeah.
I was really bad at it. I will openly admit that I was bad at a lot of the things that I did do at Evermore in like a higher stance.
Why? What made you bad at X thing?
I was not equipped and did not know how to do them. I just was too excited about being in the place that I was in.
Okay. So you kind of just like thrown to like, hey, do this thing and you
Yeah,
were,
it was a lot of like, hey, I remember the first like task that I was ever given was find somebody who can make coins for us out of metal for cheap.
oh, really?
I don't know how to do that. I have
Yeah.
no idea
So
how to do that.
what what like time period would that have been in just so I can get an idea?
Ooh, it would have been
Like 2022, like towards the end of.
I wrote down my timeline.
Okay.
I found.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to
No,
like.
no, dude, you're good. That's why I wrote down my timeline. It's okay. Um, this would have been around, I think, 2021, when I was like a weird unofficial actor, which we can get into that as well.
Right now, what does it mean to be an unofficial actor?
So, I think it was that Mythos or Pyra or something like that. There weren't enough actors. And that was one of the reasons why Ops was allowed to like dress up is to kind of make a bigger ambiance.
Okay.
And there was a time the COO was walking past. I was working on the train, and he was like, I was kind of like, man, it looks like you guys don't have enough actors. You want to throw me in there? I have a satyr costume that I'm working on. And he stopped. I was joking about it. He stopped and he looked at me and he was like, is it done? And I was like, yeah, it can be done. And he was like, send me some pictures tonight of it.
Who would this have been?
The COO, Alex.
Oh,
Yeah.
um, gotcha. My mind is desperately searching for his last name so I could verify, and then I couldn't find it in time, so I didn't say
Oh
anything.
no.
I wouldn't
Now
be
I can't remember
embarrassed.
his last name.
But that,
But yeah,
like
Edwards,
husband,
the British guy.
the British guy.
The British guy.
No, he's gonna kill me. I'm gonna look him up.
Edwards.
Edwards. Why?
Yeah.
It's not a hard
Yeah.
name or anything.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
a
that's
very,
why. That's why neither one of them would do the interview on this channel because I can't even remember who they
yeah.
are.
They're
Uh,
like,
okay, go on. I'm sorry.
yeah. No, you're good. Alex was like he was like 70 pictures tonight of your costume. Any costumes really.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I put on my satyr costume that night and I sent pictures to him and he was like, make a character and go and be.
So, okay, cool. So you didn't go through like the auditioning process or casting process, but you were in park.
I was given a green necklace.
You were told like this is above board and you are a
Well,
character in the park now. Okay, told by
actually,
at least
no.
Alex that you were.
So the fun thing is the HR person at the time, I actually was like pretty close with her.
Yeah.
We became pretty good friends while we worked together there.
Who was
Uh,
that?
I'm so bad at
No,
names.
dude, it's fine.
I
I do
see her
this
face in
too.
my head.
Yeah, I'm this way too, and I feel bad because I dunked on you in this way in the first Beyond the Gates video ever, because
Oh, yeah, you
you
did.
proposed marriage to a bunch of characters. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, what's her name?
And I was like,
It could be okay.
and
So,
now I go to LARP with her. I mean, I know her real name, but I go
yeah,
to
yeah,
her.
that's a character.
Yeah,
I will say that I'm not doing this to trip you up. I
yeah,
just want to
you're
know.
good.
I like learning stuff, so I'm sorry.
I'm like, she's in my contacts still.
Yeah,
It, no, I don't know,
fine. Other people
but
might not care about this anyway, so we'll just move on.
she was on vacation while this was being decided.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So she
and
didn't get like to rubber stamp it or anything.
and so she came back and she was like, "What the heck? Why do you look like a satyr?
Yeah, how did
What's going
this?
on?" And I was like, Alex said that I could do it, and I think they had like a pretty, I don't know if I can say argument, but like a book back and forth, and
Yeah.
it became like a thing of like, well, when she's not here, I get to dress up.
Oh,
Uh,
so the argument it did come out that it was like you can't while HR is there.
her thing was she had no problem with me like becoming an actor and doing my thing. It just wasn't in my agreement that I
Mhm.
signed. So it became this weird legal thing of like, well, I'm not being paid to be an actor, and actors get like a different pay rate, and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Which
Uh,
is less from my understanding anyway.
it was like $1 or more
At the time, maybe.
hour. Yeah, it's not that big of a change. And I think I even heard that there were some actors that were getting paid less than some of the ops people were.
When I worked there, I was getting
Yeah,
paid less than everybody on ops. So
which is awful. That
I, I don't think that me doing like fart jokes and stuff was more valuable than like preparing food, but
No, you were great. You were great at what you did. So I
um,
everyone did something.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's my point.
it was
Like,
a group effort.
yeah. The main difference was how much you get to dress up and
Gotcha.
do a poor British accent, you know.
I've seen Harry Potter. All right. I know what I'm supposed to pretend to sound.
My mom was born and raised in England.
Is
Uh,
that real?
mhm.
So you
Yeah.
can like you can do Alabama and like English to
The
some
funniest thing, and this will segue us back to me being an unofficial actor,
thanks.
is I thought that I had a really good British accent.
Uh-huh.
Um, I didn't.
Who told you
My
you did?
my wife at the time, uh,
Okay.
and a couple other people.
Yeah.
And then I talked to my mom because me and my brothers would always like use British accents around each other. And I was like, Mom, why do I have like I thought I had a good British accent. Like I need to work on this. She was like, yeah, honestly, it wasn't that great. She was just being like really supportive of me and my brothers and was like, whatever, they're doing their best. So she never corrected my British accent.
Yeah.
And I
That's
really had to work on it. So that
and it really led to a detriment for your career later in
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
So maybe she should have thought about that.
Maybe she should have.
I So you were an unofficial actor. Do you have
Yeah,
anything else interesting during that period, or do you want to talk about when you became an official actor?
I think yeah, that's pretty much all that really happened. I it was really fun because I got to trade a lot of things.
Okay, you did like trinkets and stuff.
Yes, yeah. And I got to come up with my own quests and stuff. So
Mhm.
that was really fun. But for the most part, like it's kind of whatever. I did also um, the costuming director. I ended up talking to her later as the years went on, and I didn't realize that she was also mad that I was an unofficial actor because
Oh, 'cause it wasn't even her costume. Like you're
she
out
didn't
there.
approve my costume. It was all my costume, and
Yeah,
she was like, if I got to, it would have been a very different costume. Uh,
yeah,
and I kind of wish that I did do that because she probably would have made that costume extremely like super dope.
yeah.
It was genuinely most of my costume was like I got it from Amazon and all that kind of stuff, and it was just the first like leather armor
That
suit.
shows up in the list.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
the
Mhm.
Amazon recommended.
Yes, yeah. And my horns were like you just bend it and it's like a weird cheap hollow foam, It
Gotcha.
wasn't anything special. Um,
Okay.
but
So in your okay, then you became an official actor.
mhm.
Um,
And I did do auditions for that.
Sick.
Yeah.
So I came in 2022 as
Mm,
I like as you know, you were there.
mm.
Um, so prior to that, what were some of your characters? And do you remember anything from the process of like actually doing the audition that stuck out to you or was memorable?
Kind of, yeah. I remember that my audition, I was worried, like for my first audition. That was for lore. Was my first audition that I did. And I had talked to the casting director and she was like, "Hey, you pretty much have it already because you've already like worked in other places and you helped us in the time that we needed help. So like you kind of
Mhm.
already have it, but like we want you to go to the auditions so that we
Okay.
know like where you fit."
Yeah.
Um, I remember I chugged coffee that day. And
In
I was
in the audition or in preparation for the audition?
both.
Yeah. Okay.
I got the biggest coffee I could get. I chugged half of it before, and then I was just sipping on it the rest of the time to keep it going. And I think that was like really what got me there. But the other thing that I realized was they're not looking for people who can just be an actor, who can quote lines, who can, do all these different kinds of things. They're looking for people who will talk to other people.
Yeah. It's a very different skill set than like
Very different thing.
acting in
I
film.
remember I talked to a lot of people who were like, "Well, I've been in so many plays. Why won't they cast me?" And I'm like, "That's not what we're doing.
Mhm.
We're not memorizing lines. We are going there and we're talking to people. Our
Yeah.
main concern is guest services."
Yeah, it's a customer support role.
Yeah.
Like even people who are really skilled at improv, which in itself
Hmm.
is a different skill set than like scripted theater or anything like
Yeah.
that.
And
Uh,
that's the fun thing is I
this
can't
is a
do
third
script.
thing. Sorry.
No, you're good. I can't do scripted acting.
You can't remember the names, huh?
I can't remember
Dang
anything.
it.
I can't remember a single thing. I did audition for Beyond the Gates, and it was the first time that I ever had to do like a memorized.
Oh,
Uh,
they had you like
yeah, and for that, I just did Welcome to the Black Parade. Um,
that's easy.
that was
That's
my
your
audition.
rock.
Yeah, I know that one. Uh,
I don't need to practice this one.
yeah, which I did mess up the line quite a few times, but yeah, I auditions were very interesting. They were never the same. Um, you the thing that I always hated, and I think I understand it a little bit better now, is I knew every time that it was going to be a new season, we were going to do auditions, but I also knew that I was already casted.
So
Why am I still having to go to auditions? You know,
yeah,
and it always like when people are going to be judging me, I struggle with like performing.
definitely. That makes sense to me.
And when you're doing auditions, that's exactly what they're doing is they're judging how you're doing certain things. So it was always like just not on the best like in the best mindset to be able to do the auditions. Which granted it didn't really matter because I was already casted, so like it was whatever. But it didn't give a lot of. I felt bad for all the other people who were auditioning, you know, for the third, fourth time, whatever, and they're doing great at their auditions, but they don't get casted because I probably already took their role. You know,
Yeah,
you know.
that's
It's not to say that I didn't earn my place there. Like again, I was phenomenal with like talking to customers, and sending people on quests and keeping a character on and all that kind of stuff. But there were a lot of like really talented people who could like sing and dance and do some kind of performance. That you know, I was like, shouldn't they have been in here as well? Like, what am I missing? What are you guys seeing that I'm not seeing? Because I watched the same audition, you know.
yeah. It was interesting. I don't envy the job of like the casting directors and
Mhm.
stuff, because there's so many variables that they have to keep in mind when they're
Yeah,
trying to think
yeah,
out who to grab on for that season.
but yeah,
Um, but yeah, so I'm trying to like follow the calendar in my mind.
yeah,
Unofficial actor.
yeah.
It sounded
That's
like it was like
my
early 2021, late 2020.
I also don't have the calendar super well in that.
Yeah.
I tried looking it up in my deep archives of my phone, and I couldn't find any accurate dates.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the reason that I'm bringing it up is because there's a big moment in there, which is when they did have all the layoffs, and there was a question about whether Evermore was going to
yes,
continue to exist at all. And it sounds like you bridged that during this period of time.
I think I did. Yeah, I think it was after the first layoff. Um, that after that first one, that's when I was in ops,
Yeah.
and then I think there was another layoff. Yes, there was another layoff. I remember getting those emails. Um, and then we came back, and then that like there was like I think there was like a mythos that we did.
Yeah, it would have been Mythos 2021 is when it came
Yeah,
back after like it seemed like it might never come back, but then it did. It
yes,
was
and then
one
it
of the
did,
revivals of
and
Ever.
then there weren't a lot of actors,
Yeah.
and then that's when I became an unofficial actor.
Okay, so you were there at that time walking around.
Hmm. Yeah, and so I was Birch the satyr, um, and that was a character that I completely made up in my mind.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
mean, I've
that
seen Birch the Satyr. I think in later seasons. I'm gonna look it up to make sure that I'm not incorrect.
I don't
But
think so, but maybe. Uh, I really like this.
yeah, sorry. I've got three keyboards in front of me, so give it a crap. Um, nope.
Okay. I think there are pictures
There was
somewhere.
someone named Twig, I think,
Uh,
that said that their name used to be Birch, but a fairy stole their name, so they had to go by a
mm,
different name. I think it could have been a callback to you. It wasn't you as an actor. It was
yeah.
I don't remember his name. We never really knew each other, but he's been at Beyond the Gates as a vendor. Um, uh,
Oh, um,
we cannot spend half of the interview doing this.
why not? Why can't we?
But you know
Uh,
who I'm talking about. We
Tanner.
can move
Was it
on.
Tanner?
Oh, I don't even know if I would know
Okay.
because I didn't meet him as a real human being. I was just a
Okay.
fan of the park at that point. Yeah, moving on. Sorry.
Moving on, my first, I auditioned for Lore. I think I actually kind of nailed it, but I think it was mostly because of the coffee, and because they were already like, yeah, we like this guy. He's nice. And so
What
they casted
character did you
me
have?
for Lore, as Alec, who was a gender bent Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that was the fairy tale season.
Hmm.
The thing with
Hmm.
like twisted stories.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so and then I also had like one of the other actors was the gender bent Mad Hatter, whose
Hmm.
name was Maddie.
Hmm.
So that was my first season, and as the season went on, I would be going more mad. I thought that I was, going into Wonderland, and we just progressively started dyeing my hair and beard more like purple and blue, to
So,
look.
and that would be throughout the week. You would continue to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the. Okay, cool.
By the end of it, like I think there's only like one picture of this, but by the end of it, there's like a picture of me with my whole beard is like blue and purple.
Hmm.
And it was really cool, but the stuff you had to put in there was like such a weird texture. It was just like a goo that you had to spread, which is not fun in a beard. Um,
Yeah, it sounds
yeah,
not. That was the way
yeah.
to describe it. I didn't want to say gross because it's you
No, it kind of was.
experienced it.
Especially when I like kind of forgot about it and I went to touch it, and then it was like, why is it jelly? Yeah, but that was my second character, or my first like official character. And then after that, I played as Bober, the dwarf, in Aurora.
Aurora, okay.
Hmm. And I was supposed to have like this big prosthetic nose, and then we ended up using uh, the wrong like adhesive on my nose. Uh,
So is it just like super glued on there? Was that throughout the
no,
rest
it
of the week?
it came off. The
Yeah.
problem is it like I had an allergic reaction to it, and
Ugh.
so it made my nose swell, and which was great because
At
then
that point, you don't even need the prosthetic.
yeah,
You're
it's
just
already
the
great.
dwarf as it is.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
like I know the person who did it, who put it on my nose, and she would never have done that on purpose.
yeah,
She knew what she was doing. We just didn't know that I had that allergy to that specific adhesive.
yeah.
So that's the only reason why it happened. But I hated being Bober.
Why? What
Everyone,
was wrong with
he didn't feel like that fleshed out of a character.
it? Hmm.
Also, like I was a part of the Klaus family. I was the toy maker that helped with making toys,
Yeah.
and everyone had I read everyone's like character background profile thing, and everyone had like silly Russian, whimsical Russian, some kind of something, but mine was just straight Russian.
You are Russian.
You are
There's
just
no
Russian.
descriptor.
Um, and I don't have a Russian accent.
Hmm.
I thought I had a British accent, and then I had to be humbled and be told that I don't have a British accent that's super good. I definitely don't have a Russian one,
Yeah.
but it just kind of kept being like, oh, we'll just do it.
That's kind of the, yeah. I mean, it's Utah. They won't know. They've never
Yeah,
seen a Russian person.
yeah, they don't know what Russians are like.
Yeah.
I tried. I was given like one app to learn how to do the that accent, and it helped me not at all. I, I had to do so much research.
Expected the sentence to end.
Yeah.
Uh,
I remember I ended up telling like the casting director like, "Hey, I'm trying and I can't get it." And she was like, "Well, we'll just make you British. It's fine."
so it was, were you the one exception in the Klaus house that was
Yep.
just a British
Which
dude?
made sense too because there are no in the lore of Evermore.
Yeah.
There aren't any, from what I remember, there weren't any dwarves that lived in Aurora. Um,
Yeah. So you would have been like a transplant from
yeah.
Mythos.
So the one cool thing that came from that story was I was originally Bober was originally from Mythos, and he fell through a portal into Aurora, and then the Klaus family took him in,
Okay.
which I liked that. That was fun.
Yeah, that's an interesting story anyway. It like
Yeah.
develops the character.
And then the last day of Aurora, I went to Vander's Keep, which was honestly a pretty fun place, and they named a drink after me.
Sorry, after your character or after you as
Character after my character, yeah,
okay. What
yeah.
was the drink's name? Do you remember? And do you remember
Uh,
the
it
ingredients?
was
And
called
do
a
you remember the
Bober's.
name of the person who mixed it? I'm sorry to
I
get off.
don't know the name of the guy who mixed it. He was really cool though.
Yeah.
I was new to drinking alcohol, so I like didn't know what to do, and I was like, "Hey, can I just have a drink?" And he was like, "What's your flavor profile?" It was kind of fun to watch him do it. He was really cool and really good at what he did. He was
Yeah.
like, "Well, do you like nutty or do you like fruity?" And I was like, nutty, I guess." And he would like, "Okay, okay," and he would like make a drink. It was called Bober's Betrayal,
Oh.
because there's absinthe in it,
Uh-huh.
which is a very betraying drink.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was good. It was good stuff. I still have the recipe actually.
That's
Uh,
really cool.
yeah, when Vander's Keep went down, they found the note card that it was made on. That like he wrote down the recipe, and
Yeah.
I got to keep it. So
That's kind of an interesting claim to fame to have
yeah,
a drink named after you.
yeah,
Um, cool. So yeah, that would have concluded. You said that's the last night of Aurora.
yeah,
And right after that is kind of where like I was there to
yeah.
witness a lot of the stuff that you did.
I think you were there for that. I think it was an Easter. I think it's like the first video on this account.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
So
of the
the first video on this account is stolen from Evermore's social media. I think it was Adrian who
yes,
recorded all of those.
it was.
But I remember the one that you were talking about.
Yeah,
And yeah, there was that even before that. Um, So I came for the day that I like became interested in Evermore and everything was a corporate event where my
yeah.
company like rented out the property on like a weekday or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I do recall that you were there, but you were there doing the fight ring. Um
Oh, uh-huh.
you were
Yeah,
doing like the foam swords and everything. Which was
yes.
kind of a lot to do because it was like everyone in the company showed up and they're like, we all want to fight. And so I have a video of you manning that with like 30 people in the ring or whatever, which is kind of chaotic.
Yeah, and it was often very chaotic, but it was cool. I honestly I would help with ops quite a bit after I became an actor, and that was one of the most fun things that I got to do was just like going back every once in a while, and hey, I just get to hit people with a foam sword.
Yeah,
Not much to it. Maybe I throw in an accent and I have like a little character that I made for myself, but like you just get to fight, you
yeah.
know.
Which is cool. It's nice to be able to have that flexibility. Like I
Yeah,
imagine that to the company, you being able to do all of these different things was beneficial to them.
yeah,
Like an
yeah.
asset. Um,
I threw in for like security every once in a while. That's why I did things like I worked with almost every single part of the company because people would just need help, and I would just jump in. And whether I was good at it or not, I would jump in and help. And then I would get yelled at people when I wasn't doing good, and people would be like, "Hey, that was pretty cool if I did good."
yeah.
It was cool.
Any cool security stories from when you were helping out with them sometimes?
No,
You never
not
like caught
really.
somebody doing something crazy.
I think there was one time that I jumped in. It was like a really hard night, and I remember somebody brought me some like a bottle of vodka to keep me going. And then I jumped into the battle arena, and you know, went a little bit crazy.
Okay, so you were the
It was
person
bad.
causing trouble that needed to
Yeah, but it didn't hit me that hard. But I think
be.
they I don't know. That was can't remember that one as well because
Which makes sense. I mean that adds up actually.
yeah, that track.
Okay,
But
cool.
yeah,
So yeah, you were also around this time. I remember that season's that spring social media. You were in a lot of the stuff that they put up on like TikTok and stuff.
yeah.
You were like coming to film all those. What was that like?
hmm I yet again I'm not good at like scripted TikTok videos
Yeah.
or any video. I'm not good at scripts. So it wasn't my forte, but people needed it. And I got to dress up as different characters.
Yeah.
So there wasn't as much like, there's not as much of a fun story on that one. It was just, we got together and
Did they just like reach out to you on Discord, like, hey, do you want
yeah,
to come?
they were just like, hey, we need people to do promotional videos.
Gotcha.
And there would be a couple of like, hey, do you guys have any pitches?
Mm.
Um, and I think I pitched a couple of them, but yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that was, I mean, this period of time was like when I first was getting into Evermore and I was like
Mhm.
consuming like everything they put up on social media. I was like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like baked into my memory. But yeah, that first, um, other than the Easter event that you were talking about when you
yeah.
were like a knight and you're kind of like the bozo knight of the group, they've always had like a comic relief night.
Yes. That was my favorite thing about that group in particular is we were on the surface, I was the only dumb one.
Mhm.
But when you like look at it, all of us were.
Yeah, it was all dumb.
And that was the thing.
Top to bottom.
Who he was playing as the commander, his whole thing that I just loved that he did was he was in a war where he got brain damage, and so he's like not all there, uh,
Yeah.
and like he just played around with that. It was very like Monty Python.
Mhm.
It was very much those vibes, and it was so fun to play with that.
Yeah. Someone said that in the comments. I remember them being like, I feel like I'm watching Monty Python right now. So yeah, that influence was there for sure. And then when the actual like real season of Mythos started, and this would have been your first Mythos as an official actor.
Yeah.
You started in lore last time.
Hmm.
That was like very different. I mean, like
Hmm.
Dante Riverfoot was your
Hmm.
character
Hmm.
in that season of the Rogues of the Red Fletch. And
Yes. Yeah.
um I mean, like he was fun to be around, but he was like
Yeah.
kind of a serious character too.
Which is so interesting. I don't remember. I kind of remember him being such a serious character, and I'm
Mhm.
not a serious person. So like, it's good to hear that he was a very serious character. I thought I wasn't being very
Yeah. No, I mean, okay, so I'll give you an example so that like I'm not just like saying
yeah
bullcrap or whatever. Um, at the on the occasion where Letty died in the storyline,
yes hmm
I came in that day and I mean I hung out with you guys. That was like my guild. Similar to how you thought you were going to be kind of like coven-ish, but you ended
yeah
up with the Blackhearts. I really thought I was going to hang out with the fairies all the time. But then once I interacted with you guys in the Rogues Guild, I was like, oh shoot, like this is my home. These are my people. And I'd interact with you a lot.
yeah
But then for like what really ended up being like functional reasons, this
hmm
character was killed off and wouldn't be in the park anymore.
hmm
But that was that day resulted in some of the most immersive, um, like for me coming to the park as a guest. We like were mourning it together. And I remember
yeah
you and I were walking from the Burrows up to the tavern in the front.
yeah. I
And
remember this.
okay.
Yeah
Yeah. Um, then you might help me understand
yeah
in a little bit. But it was like you were very serious. Like it's just hard because as rogues, we always joke around that like, oh yeah, when you die, we'll be able to get just like a free drink or whatever because
hmm because we're
that's
all sad, so we get a free drink and we get to party.
yeah, and it's like oh, it's not even that sad because it's like oh, we get the free drink out of it, and that's
Yeah
what we always joke around about. But now that it's here, it like hits so heavy, like it does.
uh-huh
I'm not happy about it at all or whatever. There's no way that I can recount that to the way that you worded it at the time and how impactful it felt as somebody who was like really deep in
yeah.
immersion this time. Where did that come from? Was that just off the dome, or like have you heard like from a book or something that there was that?
I That was 100% improv. That was not a part of any character, anything.
Yeah.
Like I just put myself in a place of like, okay, I'm an assassin. Dante is an assassin.
Yeah.
What is the life of? And we're dedicated assassins. It's almost a religious experience for us to be assassins. What is that like? Well, we're gonna die a lot. You know, the life expectancy. That was one of the other things. Is like we were all elves, so like it's the Tolkien like immortal until proven or something like that. We don't
Mhm.
die from old age, but like there will come something along the line that at a certain age, the likelihood of an elf dying from mythos kind of increases.
Yeah.
And that was really just for them to be like, you're not thousands of years old because that would
Mhm.
be insane. Nobody knows how to like act that out. Uh,
Yeah.
so I was the oldest. Dante was the oldest one. He was 368. Um, and then I don't know if you ever heard this or remember this, but I told everyone on the last day of that season that it was Dante's birthday and he turned 369, and that's
Nice.
the day he died.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that happens.
yes,
Goodness.
yeah,
I've got to go back and do a recap of that season to
yeah.
especially that finale night was insane. Like
It
people were
was
talking like that.
truly like I cried that night.
Mhm.
Um,
You weren't alone.
yeah, like there because I Dante dies and he gets brought back up and then what's her name? Fear of
The
the evil lady.
Verena.
Verena, thank you. Verena sends me to go get I think like the chalice or something like
Yeah,
that.
he like
Uh,
resurrects you. He's like, go get
hmm.
from the knights. They're
Yes, yeah. Uh,
powerful or
I'm
whatever.
I'm supposed to just walk there, grab it, and then walk back. And it
Hmm.
was raining that night
So hard.
so hard.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is kind of cool that I'm like just a vacant husk of a person going to go fetch this thing while it's raining.
Yeah.
And Earl walked with me and held an umbrella over me while I was walking to it.
That's so sweet.
And he was just trying to be like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I stayed in character and was like, I said nothing. I responded to none of it. And he just kept walking with me and was silent with me. And I was like, oh no, this character meant something to people. And
Yeah.
such a cool experience to be a part of.
Yeah.
Um, it's insane. It's truly like it was an insane experience. Dante was my favorite character I ever played as. And he was the longest one that I played as, and I didn't mind it at all.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. Mythos was a pretty long
it was
season.
a very long season, yeah. Um, but going back to when we talked about Letty dying, um, I truly didn't know what I was going to say. I also remember um, myself and Isabel, her character's name was,
I'll pull it up again.
I remember her code name was Rook.
Shay. Shay was.
Shay, thank you. I remember her and I were like sitting in the hovel, and every once in a while we would like pass notes to each other. Sometimes it would usually be like out of character,
Mhm.
and we would just like talk about like oh this world walker is being really annoying, or that was really
And
funny.
what was their name? I'm just kidding.
I didn't even learn it.
Yes.
But I remember that day we were like, hey, I remember she was like, I kind of just want to pretend that we're drunk because she died. And
Yeah.
I was like, I was looking through like my old trinkets and I found those notes. And we were like, we should 100% do that. And we just had the most fun, like just pretending that we were drunk and,
Yeah.
partying and mourning the death of somebody who we lost.
That was a big thing for her too. Like I also had experiences with that character that night, and for her it came off as she was very emotional about
Yeah.
the whole thing. Like she was a wreck, and people would come in and they'd be doing their like normal day-to-day World Walker stuff of like, oh hey, we heard your friend died, so we're just here to like do this quest. And she's like, and you don't think that hurts me? She's like, she's like over the top emotional, like. I'm sick of talking about this and like would slow
Yeah.
down everything, which is like exactly what a character would do in that circumstance. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure that some people were like, "Oh, geez, what the hell? I'm just trying to do like my my thing." But like for me, again, everyone perceives Evermore differently. For me, as somebody who was there every day leading up to that point, I was like, like that was part of what got me into like the weird, subverted mental state I was in.
Mhm.
That I was like, my friend died for the rest of the night. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember that
I
too.
honestly, I loved acting with her. She was so fun to act with and so fun to be around. Like we spent so many times, like after the park had closed, just standing outside of our cars and just talking to each other
That's so
until
cool.
like 1 or 2 in the morning. Like it. there were a lot of really great people who worked there. Uh,
Yeah.
that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about being there. Was all the people that I ended up meeting. I mean, even till now, even after Evermore closed, I was in a D&D campaign for like 2 or 3 years with Connor and Cade, who have been on the show
Yeah.
on here, and yeah, we did a full campaign with each other. Grace was also in that campaign. Jess was the DM. Like it was super great. Even now, I'm in a campaign with Taylor, who again has also been on here. He's DMing a campaign that I'm in, and Grace is in it, and a couple of other people are in that one. Not from Evermore, but we still have maintained friendships.
Yeah.
And yeah, I that's a little side tangent, but I appreciated how much Evermore made. Like it was like going to school again. You
Mhm.
just you show up and your friends are there.
Yeah,
Um,
it brought a community together.
yeah,
And I think that the type of people that it attracted brought some very good and some very bad. It
yeah,
is
yeah,
um yeah, it was an amazing and interesting place.
yeah.
Um, okay. I'm looking at the clock and okay. So I've got to move a little bit faster, but I did want
Okay.
to, while we're talking about Dante, Dante had like a whole religious architecture under him with like Olia and the river guides and everything. Was that, did HR give their stamp to that, or was that just kind of like that was your okay, cool.
So when I was working in ops, especially when I was like working ticket booths, I just got bored, and so I'd write down different things in a journal. And one day I came up with the concept of Olia, the river goddess, who you have a path, and the path is the river, and there are river animals that like will accompany you, with you, all that kind of stuff. And I just made that, and I just one day was like, let's throw this onto Dante.
Yeah.
Dante, this thing.
So it was more like Dante felt like an appropriate place to incorporate that. It wasn't Dante came first and it's like, like what would this guy be up to?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was already a concept in my head. I just had something that was already prepared because I was bored one day working there, and I just threw it in there.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was cool. Like I said, I mean, I was deep in eating all that stuff up that season, so I was like taking notes, like, yeah, oh, and the otter, got
and
it.
I noticed that, and so I always tried to throw in something like deep and interesting that people could fall in. Like Lil Dicky, I threw in something with him. I don't know if anyone ever got to his like. There were some people who got into his deep backstory,
Mhm.
but I kept it like a secret little thing that if you get close enough with me, I will tell you it. You know.
Okay. Okay. So for people who are following Evermore Park loosely,
Yeah.
in War of 2022, there was a character named Richard Adderley Esquire.
Mhm.
But you named it Little Dicky.
So there's actually a fun story behind that as well.
Yeah.
I had made an agreement with Adrian of I will be an adventurer again because Alec, my first character, was an adventurer.
Gotcha.
Um, so I was like, hey, I will shave my beard into mutton chops if I
Yeah.
be an adventurer again.
Yeah. And you wanted to be. So that
I
was,
wanted to be.
you were hoping to be an adventurer.
hmm
Okay.
And Adrian said yes. She said, make the character sheet and send it over, and I'll see if I approve it.
So you created that character sheet.
We'll get to that.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. I came up with Archibald P. Buffums, retired general. He was an adventurer. He was very like Atlantis coded,
Yeah.
um, which is kind of what the general vibe is, anyways,
And
of
then, yeah.
of that. I sent it in. Adrian approved it. We got our character sheets maybe like a month later, and mine said Richard Adderley Esquire. This man is obsessed with fashion. He's obsessed with this, that, and the other, and all these kinds of things. And I was pissed. I was like so upset that they like completely changed my character, that nobody like communicated it with them. Like nothing else happened. And I was like, what the heck is going on with this? And so I said, hey, man, all right. if you want me to be Richard Adderley, I'm going to use a historically accurate nickname for the name of Richard being Dicky,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to call him Little Dicky because that's a historically accurate name.
Yeah. So it wasn't on the character sheet, this dude's
No,
Little Dicky.
it was
You were
something that I
feeding it
made because I
something
was pissed.
unexpected, and you're
Yeah.
like, this is Little Dicky.
This is Little Dicky because I'm pissed that you didn't let me be Archibald P. Buffums.
Yeah.
And
I feel like Little Dicky did land with people. I remember him
I
being a
did,
fan favorite that season.
but I made him land.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was all you.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the whole reason why his name was Little Dicky. That
Mm.
wasn't a part of his character sheet. It's good that it did end up landing because I would have been upset if it didn't.
Good.
Because I had a character and
Yeah.
I shaved my chin bald
Yeah.
for
So
this
that I
character.
could be Buffums.
Yes.
Oh man.
But yeah, so
But so
that's
you said that there was some deeper underlying thing with that character too. If you got close enough to him,
yeah.
you learn what?
So I played around with his like fashion idea, and that they were ghost hunters. He specifically was talking to Nostradamus,
Mhm.
somebody. I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody who like could give fashion advice.
Okay.
And so he would play around with ghosts. I wrote like a whole journal entry for him. And the whole concept was that he summoned spirits to predict the future so
Mhm.
many times that eventually somebody from hell came and said, "You have played with these powers for far too long without paying a price." And then he
Okay.
took his daughter and wife and brought them to hell. And so his whole story is that he is preparing to go on an expedition to hell so that he can save his wife and daughter.
Is
Um,
that, so that's how he got into this like paranormal realm.
yeah,
Like this
yeah,
wasn't well, I mean, I
yeah.
guess he was already summoning
He was
stuff.
kind of already in it, but
Yeah.
like he fully got into it for that reason. And so he would eventually plan an expedition to go there. Um, yeah,
Yeah. And then I mean you ended up becoming a vampire by the end of that season.
yeah.
You were like where did the romance come from? That story.
So, oh no.
Are you is your battery about to die?
Yeah, my battery's about to die.
Oh man, well the I had to be limited to a certain amount of time somehow.
Well, you want to do two parts?
Two in a row of two parts. Okay. Do you have a charger around? And I'll try to wrap it
Maybe.
up.
Is hold on. Let me go check.
Okay. Hello, viewer. I'm not cutting anything out of these. It's a point of pride for me that I'm just letting the Zoom call go up unedited. Um, and if I start now, when will I stop? So I will play for you a clip of um when Richard Adderley Esquire was thing. I'm gonna try to make this ad quiet. This is an ad about poop. Oh, he's back. This is a waste of time. I'm not helping, I'm hurting.
Oh no.
But here
Oh,
we go.
okay. Is it charging now? Okay.
No, you didn't. I hope I was gonna play this clip.
Oh,
I'll just do like a second of it.
okay.
I don't know, maybe.
I was just going to say I was rather disappointed when you left me completely by myself about a week ago.
I don't know what you're talking about. Means, of course.
The song
Which is not a guarantee. What do you mean? Yet another one of them.
engaged, you set your foot out for just a moment.
It's
And then
contagious.
Okay, I'm realizing now too that like I don't know if that screen share is gonna work when I'm actually putting the recording up because two episodes ago I was trying to share my screen and it didn't appear. But yeah, there was this romance with this vampire character who was named Lavender who
Yes.
was always trying to get you to like come out of the park so she can meet you and drink your blood.
Yeah,
And you were
yeah.
like
There
so
was like a
freaked
there
out
was
by the whole thing.
there was like a whole law about vampires cannot consume blood of anyone in the town.
Hmm. It was their agreement with the mayor in order to be able
Yes,
to like
yeah.
stay in the city of or town of Evermore.
I'm gonna find a better way to hold my iPad while I sit here. Um, that's not better for everyone, but that's okay. Yes. So I think honestly, with the whole thing between Lavender and Little Dicky was really just because um, Abby and I, the actress,
Hmm.
we just had that kind of like weird flirty relationship. It was the same thing for when she was Verena and I was Dante.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Like a season prior, you guys were interacting for
yes, yeah, we were just very like I don't know if this is weird to say. She was just very dominant, and I myself am not a very assertive person.
yeah.
If you tell me to sit down, I probably will, like kind of thing. If you're assertive enough, I'll do whatever you tell me to do, just
Mhm.
leave me alone. And so that's just how she kind of played some of her characters, and my characters were very responsive to that. And so it just turned into every time we played as a different character, she would tell me what to do, and my character would be like, okay, I will.
On it.
On
Let's
it.
do it.
And so it just that's genuinely all it was.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no game and no ability to like respond to it, so it was it resulted in that.
Yeah.
I've looked through those videos since then, and I've like kind of picked it apart and like, how could I have done this better and all that kind of stuff. And
So you're like kind of looking at it critically in terms of like,
yeah,
oh, how could it, what kind of stuff have you thought of? What do you mean?
um, I think a lot of my problems with acting was conversation. Um, when it came to like just talking to people and them needing answers and having questions about like the park, I was great at that. I knew how to talk about that, I knew what to do with that. But when it came to like having conversations with other people, I just didn't have the confidence
Mm.
to talk back. Granted, I do. I just didn't believe I did,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that I've been working on a lot with myself because I've found it in different parts of my life. Of I was looking through old. Might be a little bit personal, but whatever. I don't care. I was looking through a lot of like old school reports from when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and one of them ended up saying that I had a teacher reported that I had learned dependency or something like that. And so it just really meant that like if I don't have to take charge on something, if I don't have to do something, I'm not going to, because somebody else will do it for me. Um, and that has gone into a lot of other places in my life, and I saw it a lot when I was an actor at Evermore.
Hmm.
If somebody else can like take the lead of something, I would let them. Uh,
Yeah.
I have since then been trying to work on that, but it's been a very interesting thing to learn about myself, and being able to see a lot of these videos that you've recorded have been really good at like, oh, I should probably fix that, and this is what I was doing, and this is how I know how what I was thinking, but like now I can think a little bit differently because of it.
Yeah. I two other facets to that. I don't want to harp on it for too long.
Mhm.
First, I think that being able to be introspective about that type of thing already puts you bounds ahead of most human beings on the earth. That you're
It
even like
does.
thinking about who you are and where you're at
Yeah.
and everything at all. But then the other side is, I don't think that it was a negative in this environment. One of the bad things about Evermore was that there was too many, like in the last interview, I think Josh used the term like too many chefs in the kitchen type of thing.
Yes.
Everyone was trying to be the lead, the main character, the main
Mhm.
stuff. And that doesn't land as well if there isn't another character that can kind of go
Mhm.
along with it instead of like trying to have their hand on the wheel all the time. So I think that was maybe even one of the things that led to you being received well as an actor at Evermore. So
Hey, I appreciate that.
not always a bad thing.
Yeah. and I am also trying to take that into consideration. It's fun too. It's not always easy to take compliments. But
Yeah,
it
no,
is,
if you said anything nice about me, I'd be in hell. So I
yeah,
know exactly what you mean.
no, yeah,
So yeah. Um, anything else that you wanted to say about lore? I kind of am interested in moving on to that last Aurora, but I don't want to like
yeah.
anything that you maybe were interested in talking more about.
Um, oh, something that we kind of skipped over actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
Probably a lot
because
of things, but yeah.
Mythos had so many things going on. And kind of talking about cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I helped a lot. That was like when I helped the most with like a lot of the higher ups. I had a
Oh my gosh,
full,
you're so right. Yeah,
yeah, I
as
had a
as a
full-time
season
position.
pass holder, you had a full-time position in that
Mhm.
summer? What was that like? What
Uh,
was the
I think it was more than that summer actually.
uh-huh.
Uh, there was a time where I went from being a teacher, not like a it was like for a charter school, so like I don't have an education in being a
Yeah.
teacher, but I did it, and I had a lot of fun, and that was one of the reasons why I did field trips, because I did it specifically just for the school that I worked with,
Okay.
and I would bring kids there, and I would walk them around, I would show them the place, because they had like a whole field trips program.
Yeah.
Where they just take kids to go on field trips, and so I would bring them around Evermore and just show them all of
Mhm.
it. Um, yeah, I can see a question going in your
I
head.
mean, I don't want to cut you off, but
Very good.
and then that leads into I remember that summer there was a summer camp
Hmm.
at Evermore.
Yeah.
And that's a very interesting thing. The kids could like be watched by this park that we all know a lot
Yeah,
about. And
yeah, yeah.
what was that like?
So that one was actually pretty interesting, kind of fun. Um, it started as honestly, it was a cash grab. It was an opportunity for people to like experience Evermore, kind of like almost the behind the scenes of Evermore,
Yeah.
and to just kind of like get a little bit more money. They had to pay for the summer camp, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nobody's jaw is on the floor. This was
yeah,
good when the ad came out.
yeah, yeah. Um, but it was also meant to be like well, now these kids will fall in love with Evermore, so they'll keep begging their parents to bring them to Evermore.
Yeah, yeah.
It worked with like one kid.
How well attended was the summer camp? Like what percentage of people who came was that one kid?
There was
Am I still connected?
maybe about, oh, I'm gonna get this number, but I want to say like 50 kids a week for about,
50 kids a week would show up to the summer camp. That's more than I
yeah,
thought.
yeah.
That's pretty good.
It might be a little bit more or less. I mean, obviously the numbers would change off and on quite a bit,
Yeah.
depending on what the week was. But yeah, it was pretty good attendance.
Yeah.
But
And how involved
yeah,
were you with like actually running the summer camp day to day and like how many other people were there and what did kids do and what were
yeah. So at the beginning, I was just a camp counselor. That was it. I was just hired to be a camp counselor. But again, I've worked in summer camps. I've been a teacher, all this kind of stuff. There came a point, I think it was like week 2 or so, where it was supposed to be like Adrian was supposed to be running it, but she had so many other things that she had to attend to. So it ended up being me that was like put on as manager,
Mhm.
which was kind of cool. I kind of enjoyed that. And so I was the manager. The main, there were 4 other um, counselors that would help during that time. Um, I think 4, maybe 5, 6, something like that. Um, and they were all like other actors. Um, and so we would just have them come in. Each day was a different activity. Um, there was we taught them, I think we taught them like sword fighting. I think we did archery one day. Um,
It advertised like a potion making activity, like that was maybe one of the days.
that didn't happen. Uh,
No!
yeah, that definitely didn't happen.
It was the main
Um,
thing. They had like video of like a cauldron and stuff, and they're like, "Your kid can make potions." That's
wow, I wonder who was going to do that.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, that never happened. Yeah, it was mostly like we did a little bit of aerialists.
Oh,
We
cool.
did archery. We did a tour of the place. Oh, we had a animal day
Yeah,
where Ben would come in and we would get to like walk around the llamas. We would get to see some of the birds and reptiles. That was actually really cool for me because um, I've always loved working with animals. I love animals, and there was one time where Ben, we were like walking around the llamas and alpacas, and Ben just handed me the leash to one of them
yeah.
and was like, "You got this."
Here you go.
I
Take
was
this
like,
animal.
"I've never done this before," and he was like, "It's okay, it's intuitive. You got
Yeah.
this." And then I did, and it was super fun. I also got to hold the tegu.
What? I don't know anything.
Did you never go to the bird and reptile show?
I went one time, but I went one time
Okay.
is I only went once, and I was just making sure that everything was in frame, not
Yeah,
really listening, and I've never gone back to watch it. So,
you missed out. I learned a lot of animal facts from there. So the tegu, he was a big old lizard, had chubby cheeks. His name was Trogdor.
oh,
Uh,
okay, yeah, I
yeah,
recall this
yeah.
lizard.
Um, he's just a big old lizard, and I got to hold him once. I have pictures of him. I put it on my dating profile because it's a pretty good picture, and I'm holding a giant lizard, which is
Yeah,
be impressive. I don't know.
that's gonna land something. That's good.
Yeah, it's gotta, right? Um, but yeah, that was pretty much what we did. And then the last day was like a hey, bring your parents in, and we're going to show you what we did.
Hmm.
And really, it just turned into we're going to we're going to go through a tour, and then we're going to do all the activities that you guys did, and then that's it. And you go home.
Was that well received when the parents came in and saw what they were doing all week?
Yeah.
Were they like, oh, this was sick. This was what I expected.
Yeah. I didn't get the most amount of like immediate feedback,
Yeah.
but like from what I heard from what people were telling me, yeah, they enjoyed it.
And the kids seem to be having fun.
Yeah,
I guess that's more important, honestly,
yeah.
is if the
The
kids
main
are having a good
complaint that
time.
they had was it was hot.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah, and that's
that's
it.
not wrong. They're correct.
And some of the activities, I guess, weren't that exciting to them. But we would also, I think, we kind of made it fun to like kind of divide it up. We would split them into groups, and each week we would come up with like a different like mascot.
Yeah,
So like one of the counselors was the owl bears. Uh,
nice.
we had mermaids, we had the dragons, we had all sorts of different kinds of, groups that we would name them, and they would come up with different like chants to run around with, and that was really fun. I really liked that. Um,
Yeah,
but
sounds like a good time. I would have liked that as a summer camp as a kid. I think
it was pretty sick, especially when you get to like bring out boffer swords and just start beating each other with them.
yeah,
Like it was great.
child.
It was kind of fun. I ended up like, all right, you guys, I get to have the long sword, and you guys all come against me.
Hmm.
And I would just have all of the kids like charge
You,
at me, and I would
you
take them all
reenacted the
on.
how many kindergartners can you survive
Yeah,
if they came in wave
which
pool
hey,
in real life?
kindergarten was not allowed. Some of them were first graders. Thank
Okay,
you.
couldn't have kindergartners on this
Yeah, I can't
property.
do that.
That's
Kindergarten, the
ridiculous.
first graders, you're free game.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But
Uh,
yeah, it was fun.
that is interesting. And then in that same summer, I
Mm.
remember that as a season pass holder, there was like a vaguely introduced benefit called Battle for Evermore. Or it was like kind of brought up sometimes that there was this thing that like we would be invited and maybe do like a battle. And I think maybe it even happened one time, but I ended up not being able to go that one. Can you walk me through that? Because
Yeah,
you were in charge of that whole thing, right?
that was my project. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
So
not it being listed as a benefit for the pass holders, I imagine, but like actually
no,
making it happen after the fact.
that was the point. Was it was supposed to be like a hey, we can you want a company to come in and do it? We can do that. It was supposed to be just an extra activity that people can do,
Mhm.
and it was supposed to play into the season of Mythos. So it was supposed to be like you're put on teams. One team would be Team Kalamazoo, one team would be Team Braum,
Yeah.
which were the knights that season.
The two
Um,
warring groups in the
yeah,
they were trying to win the Dragon Lantern Festival
yes.
Fairy
And
Cup.
depending on how those events went of the Battle for Evermore, Like if whichever team won, they would like it would carry over into story.
Yeah, because there was every night there was a duel between the two
Yes.
houses, and it was like predetermined which one was going to win based
Yeah.
on, yeah,
But it wasn't supposed to originally be that way. Uh,
yeah.
it was supposed to like these fights that we're doing for Battle for Evermore was supposed to, you know.
So what would Battle of Evermore
Mhm.
have been like?
So it's a little bit important to understand why it's called Battle for Evermore instead of Battle Evermore or Evermore Battle or anything like that. There was already plans for a Battle Evermore, which
Okay,
was
how did that differ? What was that?
Ken's idea was um, we're gonna do airsoft in Evermore.
So just like modern
Hmm.
rifle weaponry.
Hmm.
Uh, did he know that he like imported stained glass from Europe, or was that like
I would hope so.
Mhm.
When Alex brought that up, it didn't seem to bother him. It was kind of a oh no, we'll just cover it up.
If we shatter the stained
No,
glass with
no, no,
airsoft
we'll cover it
rifles,
up. We'll cover it up with plastic.
oh, we'll like
Yeah,
pat it beforehand to prevent it from getting.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like,
Which,
if it gets broken, we'll put the cardboard over it or something.
well, the other problem is putting plastic over everything that could break.
Hmm.
You would be walking on plastic.
It's just the whole place is plastic. You could have
Yeah,
been in the
because like,
lobby for the grid, almost as large.
mhm.
But
I was raised like I would do airsoft battles all the times with my brothers and like other neighborhood kids. You can't play airsoft, do airsoft wars without tearing up lawns.
yeah,
It would be more than just broken antiques.
yeah, just everything's gonna get torn up. Hey, do you still have
Um,
B-reel?
do I what?
Still have B-reel?
No.
Notification just popped off. Say hello. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, that was like a whole thing that Ken was trying to do. Um, and we were trying everything to not let it happen.
You're
Um,
trying to defend the property from being like destroyed by all
yeah,
this.
yeah, from projectiles
Yeah.
and
Did it ever happen? Did any of these things ever happen? Was there ever a battle for Evermore?
so there was a play test for Battle for Evermore.
Okay, who was involved in the playtest? Was that the thing that I missed with the season
Yeah,
pass holders?
yeah.
Okay.
So that it was play test. Season pass holders got to do the play test
Yeah.
because we were trying to find like we were trying to figure it out and see how to make it work.
Yeah.
So we were like, we need people to come in and hit each other with boffer swords to see how this will work.
How did that
And
go? Did you like get any important learnings from the playtest?
oh, so many, yeah, yeah. But yeah, we were just like, hey, there's a bunch of playtest holders. Let's send them an email and see if
Mhm.
they're interested in coming and trying it out. And that can be a little extra perk for them, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but there was a lot of cool things that we did. Like I came up with so many different ideas of like capture the flag and like detonation. Like you have to go and like the other team has a bomb that you have to go and defuse.
Mhm.
It kind of got a lot of these ideas from. I used to play Call of Duty Ghost with my brother all the time. And so I just take a lot of their gameplay ideas and just put it into, well, we can do this with boffer swords and
Yeah.
shields and
And like I remember
boffer
there's
arrows.
buffer arrows as well.
Hmm. One of the fun things that I got to do with it, but I learned that it doesn't quite work this way, is the main hub where I was standing and a couple other people were standing, like the refs.
Yeah.
We were on top of the gazebo.
Yeah.
And we would just, I remember Alex would run down, grab some arrows, and give them to me and say, like, just shoot them from the gazebo and see if you can take them
Just
off.
some
Yeah,
people
just start sniping everybody. I think the poundage of my bow was too light to be able to do it.
Yeah, you're so far away
It's
of
so far away, and
nothing.
those arrows were cool, but like they're pretty thick, so
Yeah.
they're pretty weighed down. But yeah, I got to do that. There was Adrian was up there, and they hooked up like a microphone, so you could hear throughout the whole entire park what the people on the gazebo were saying.
Mm.
And Adrian was like, in like her best Barbie voice, was like, "Get ready to fight!" And like it was so fun. And we had like alarms, we had like different countdowns. Like Jarvis came up and was like, "Hey, we can. There's like an app for this that we can use where we can do pre-recorded like noises, and all you have to do is press the button. So then you know when like the countdown is starting. You know when to start, like all that kind of stuff. There were so many ideas. Like it was genuinely, and this is why it's so like upsetting for me, is there were when we did this playtest, we all came together and could have done phenomenal things.
Yeah.
And
So
it
the upsetting part is just that nobody ever like actually got to benefit from that. Like nobody came in and like purchased the Battle for Evermore add-on or whatever.
No, the problem with it is we were doing this to get Ken away from doing the airsoft.
Here's an alternative that you could
Yeah,
do.
this would be an alternative that would be, it would look like this.
It
You
would
know,
be more thematically
it would.
appropriate too
Yes,
for
yeah.
like the property that you bought here.
Because his only idea was like you're in an old the old ruins of a village,
Yeah.
old Europe village. But like that's not what people do for airsoft, you know. Uh,
Did did the airsoft thing ever happen? Was there ever actually an airsoft battle?
the most that happened with that is they purchased some airsoft guns and
Like Evermore did? The
mhm,
company bought a bunch of airsoft guns?
and they had like an airsoft helmet that they
They
purchased.
had an airsoft what?
Helmet,
Helmet. Okay.
full
Yeah,
helmet.
technical.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the most that I saw from it.
They
Um,
never like used it or anything. They just had a bunch of airsoft stuff at Evermore.
yeah.
Neat.
But the main thing that ended up happening is, I think, here's the thing: nobody communicated. If I were to sum up like one of the biggest problems that Evermore had is that management did not communicate with each other.
Hmm.
Um, and
Yeah,
if they
like you
did,
as the satyr encountered that on like multiple
yeah,
different departments.
and if they did communicate, they would either never agree, or it was just insanely begrudgingly that they would communicate with each other.
Mm.
Um, and that's, I don't know, that's from my perspective of how like I wasn't in the inner circles, but I was on the outside of those inner circles. Like I was there when they would have those begrudging meetings. Like I was up the stairs from them, but I heard them, I could hear them, like I knew
Yeah.
what was going on in those meetings.
Yeah, you had a really close relationship with the person who was in HR during like
Yeah,
this period of time.
yeah.
So was there anything that like as you were kind of closer in proximity that was interesting that we could talk about?
Um, no, most of it was just like how much they so many people had different ideas. Um, everyone had their own vision, kind of with the last interview that you did. Everyone had their vision, and they all wanted their vision to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime open communication would happen, it was almost treated like, well, now this is an expectation instead of communication. Uh,
Gotcha.
you
It
know.
was like imposing their will instead of like trying to
Mhm.
start a conversation or
And
something.
so it turned into, well, I'm not going to communicate with you because then you're going to give me your opinion, and your opinion you think is fact. And this is a place of art. So art is subjective.
Yeah.
And there's so many different ways that you can do fantasy. And to put it into a physical place is hard to all be on the same page of. Uh,
Yeah. Which kind of brings you to this spot in your trajectory where you stopped working for the company
yeah.
in the upcoming season. Like I do recall that you were there for Aurora,
Hmm.
and that was kind of a standalone character. That one wasn't in a guild or anything. It was like a
Yes.
merchant high class type of guy, right?
Hmm. That one was actually pretty fun because we had been working off of a gold system at Evermore for so long, where anytime you do a quest, we give you gold. And for the longest time, we knew that wasn't working
Yeah.
because there
It
was
was
no.
literally spray painted rocks and everyone knew
Yes,
that.
there was one time that I was the one that spray painted some of those rocks.
Yeah, I think you're not the first to tell me that.
Yeah,
Like, we're just out
yeah.
here eating
It was
rock.
a tedious experience. Oh yeah, Taylor was on, and he
Yeah, he
that
also.
was a whole other thing.
Yeah,
But
because he
yes,
wasn't an
yeah.
employee yet. So,
And that's the other thing is I have some pretty cool trinkets. Like I don't want your gold painted rock
yeah.
for this I have a miniature 3D printed dragon's head
Mm.
that's the same model as the dragon's head in the tavern.
It's like, oh,
Uh,
it's literally
it's tiny, yeah,
that's really
which
cool.
that one is ginormous.
Yeah.
But I have that. I'm not going to trade you that for any amount of spray painted rocks.
Yeah. So, okay. So this season, this
Yeah.
Aurora that we're talking about was the first time that we had gotten away from spray painted rocks
Hmm.
and characters were just straight up giving
Yeah.
trinkets.
And
Um,
our characters were meant to do that. Like that's why we were who we were is we were tradesmen. And we were the ones that took away the gold system.
okay, so
Yeah.
you were taking gold out of the market
Yeah.
and like helping to transition to this trinket
Yeah.
economy.
So it was me and Connor, and we both had characters that were like, why did we do this kind of thing? And we came up with different ideas. I actually really liked that character. So that was like the first season um, since like the last reboot where we got to like, we were given like a little bit of the character and
Mhm.
then we just kind of made up the rest. Uh,
Yeah.
so we got to choose like names, their backstories, where they're from, all that kind of stuff. So it was Connor and I were both tradespersons.
Yeah, but
Um,
very different types. Like you were kind of just like a standard like European dress, and he was like
yeah,
a Wolves of Winter garb. Like he ended up going
yeah,
viral on social media
yeah,
and
yes,
stuff.
he did. Yeah, which was
Uh,
really cool. Yeah,
yeah,
his name was Otari, and
yeah.
then my character's name was Mosca, um,
Oh
which
well, that sounds like extremely like
Russian.
yeah. So am I getting the wrong read on your character
He was
then?
supposed to be Russian as well, yeah.
Okay.
But I couldn't do it. I still couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah,
And so I worked really hard to do a like Victorian accent.
yeah. Gotcha.
Um, and also the fun thing about it is Mosca, from what I remember, I could be wrong. Mosca is Russian for mask,
Hmm.
which was like his whole point is they're not what they see on it.
Yeah.
This was also the character that I had vertigo. That's why I forgot why I decided to do this, but I had vertigo for some reason most of the days. So I would walk around with a cane so I
Yeah.
could keep
You did have
balance.
a kid, huh?
And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw a limp on
Yeah. Lean into this.
and I came up with a lore reason for it. It's he was in like an arcane school, like a wizard school,
Mhm.
and a spell went off and it hit him in the leg, and it permanently like damaged his leg. So that's why he has a limp. You know,
Yeah. He used to be an adventurer, but then
he got
oh, and then
yeah, he used to be a wizard, but then he got shot by an arcane bolt. You know,
yeah.
but yeah,
That's cool.
that was the last season that I was an official actor working in like a fully official capacity technically.
Yeah. Why'd you leave?
Um, I know. Sorry, Tina's trying to tell me that you were making a Skyrim reference, and I
Yeah.
know that.
He's like, I got it. I caught it.
Yeah, I know. I've played Skyrim. Um, why did I leave? So that actually wasn't my last season.
Well,
I did Winterfell.
you did do the spring thing when you came in for a little bit. Like I remember your character
Mhm.
being there in the following Spring Fest because they were experimenting with actually populating the park with characters during that period of time.
Yeah,
But what else did I miss? Because by the time that I came and auditioned, I don't think that we overlapped at all.
we didn't. So I did Winterfest. I was supposed to play as a pirate named as Captain
Winterfest.
Starbuckle.
Yeah.
And nobody came to Winterfest. So there was never a reason for me to be in character.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess if nobody's paying to be in the park, then yeah.
And then I just kind of like I was losing the magic of Evermore. I think I had been during the summer camp. I was at the park every single day of the week
Yeah.
for I think a month or two.
Hmm.
I was doing camp for like all of the weekdays, and then I worked Friday and Saturday acting, and then I even was playing D&D at the park for a while.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because you guys
Yeah,
would be up there to play.
yeah. Um, so like I was there so often. I made it like a point that I would visit every single like I would travel every square inch of the park, and I almost did. The only thing I didn't get to was the top of the chapel. Um,
Can you go up there? Was
yeah,
there like a second story?
there was ladder that up that place up there.
Like where the bell, it appears that like a bell tower would be.
Yes, the bell tower. There wasn't a bell up there,
Yeah.
obviously. But yeah,
It
there
wasn't even
was.
like tiles up there. Like it was never mind.
Well, it was
Unfinished church stuff.
extremely not well built. Um, and I tried going up there,
Mhm.
but you literally had to like pull yourself up from each
Mhm.
step, instead of a normal ladder. Um,
Gotcha.
and yeah, I didn't go up there because there was a bunch of bird waste everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Plus, you don't
but
want to be the reason that the unfinished church falls over. Like that's
yeah,
not something you want on your
it
resume.
could have been me. It could have been me.
Yeah.
And then it would never be finished, and it would be all my fault.
Could you imagine if it was
Yeah.
never finished? Um,
But yeah, I just I lost all the magic and all of the purpose. I started this place as a world walker and enjoyed being a world walker. And there was just so much like different kinds of drama, different people who like just disagreed with each other.
mhm.
And I just kind of got tired of it. And so I decided to leave. Also, during that mythos, they had decided to if you're going to be a part of a guild, you have to have a talent. Um, which
Oh, in terms of like a musical
yeah,
or
musical or some kind of like stand up or
some skill.
sword fighting or
Mhm.
whatever that is. And I just had been burnt out from you know doing audition after audition that I didn't feel comfortable doing. I
Yeah.
got burnt out from all the drama that was happening, and I didn't have any talents to speak of, besides I'm good at talking to people. Um, and so that's why I stopped. And I dedicated myself to going every single day, that I could as a world walker and just spending my time there and
Yeah.
just walking around.
And I saw you come back and attend regularly and like to try to get that magic back to
Yeah.
like what originally made you like Evermore. Did it work? Like, do
Yes.
you feel like that ever came back when you were
Mhm.
nice? What, how would you describe the magic? What did you like about Evermore? Because this is something that a lot of people don't get who weren't there.
Yes. Escapism
Hmm.
is a big part of it. It a lot of people talk about like it's hard to escape when you can see the that research center in the background, just beyond Drakenhaven. And yeah, that's kind of true. But I wasn't looking over there most of the time, you
Yeah.
know. I was looking at the people I was talking to. I was looking at the mounted dragon heads, the spear that apparently had actually seen war and still has blood rust on it, allegedly.
Yeah,
I don't
allegedly.
know. But it was cool, Like I enjoyed being able to be there and to have a purpose that wasn't, hey, let's pay taxes and worry about rent
Yeah.
and all these other kinds of things. And I got to talk to people that were like me. Like I don't often get to have coworkers that I get to nerd out with. Um, the person who world walked as Robin Swift, I actually did work with her for a little bit.
Mhm.
We didn't know that we were going to be working together, but there was a time where we both worked at at the same job, which was cool. But for the most part, other than that, like I would constantly tell people like, hey, you got to go to this place. It is so fun. It is just a great place where you can just, hey man, you get to wear a sword on your back,
Yeah.
you know?
Don't you ever
Uh,
want to wear a sword?
you don't want to. What do you mean you don't even own a sword? What? What?
How do you, I gotta get you one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have more.
I
And
think I
that's what
remember
it
one
was.
time when you bought a sword at Evermore and you
I
were like
did.
showing it, you're like, hey, like this
So actually, I didn't buy it. I traded for it.
go on.
Go on, indeed. It was actually with Connor. It's not that like crazy of a
Oh,
trade,
not
but
like a stranger you just met.
yes, yeah. It was he didn't like the sword, and so I asked them like, what do you want for it?
Mhm.
And Connor was like, I just really want a like a drinking horn,
Hmm.
and they were selling them anyways for like $40
Yeah,
at one of the vendors, and so I bought one, and I was like, here you go, and so yeah, now I have that sword. It's hanging up in my living room right now.
that's way cool.
Um, but yes, I've gotten some pretty crazy trades over the years.
Nice. But yeah, this would have been the last year of the park's existence. So,
Um, yeah, that mythos was the last mythos.
how did you, what's your reflection on the whole thing now that it's over? How do you feel about it all?
I miss it. I really like. I get that there was so many problems and so much toxicity. I would do it again because
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, I get that it was bad, but I also have grown as a person and I can, I feel like I can kind of navigate that a little bit better.
Mhm.
Um, but even so, like it was just a beautiful place. There were memories there that I hold on to dearly. I still have, again, like Lizzie and I would exchange notes in code, in character. That was like one of our quests when she was Yvain the pirate and I was
Yeah.
Dante. I still have them
Mhm.
because they were beautiful. I mean, granted, most of the notes were just memes and references to Divine, but
Yeah.
like it was great. I lived a whole world and a whole life in that place. I experienced so many different things. I went through a divorce while I was there. I remember that one time I was just having a really rough time and I went into Drakenhaven and just sobbed because
Mhm.
life was hard and this place was at least cool to be in, you know? Um, it was just a beautiful experience that I've tried to go to. I've been trying LARP and it's not quite hitting the same because it had a magic to it.
Yeah.
Or it was cursed land, but it was magical land too.
Yeah. I the closest that I've gotten to LARP other than Evermore is Beyond the Gates.
Yeah,
And
and I was
um
there too.
the most recent time that I went, you were an actor.
Yeah,
I have not been there in over a year since.
yeah.
Is that still something that you're involved with, or have you kind of like not you're not doing that anymore?
No, I stepped away from it. It was starting to feel a little bit there were some things that I just didn't quite agree with.
Hmm.
Some people who were working there I really enjoyed, and then they don't work there anymore, and I could tell the difference after
Gotcha.
they were fired. And I just,
Yeah, it's nuts the impact on a culture that one person can have, like whether
yeah,
they're there or not. And also, yeah, stuff like that is hoping to bring back the good stuff from Evermore,
yeah,
but when you're bringing back Evermore, it's never going to be just the happy parts. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah,
Um, cool. Well, thank you for sharing your experience about being at Evermore. I'm looking at the clock.
yeah.
We're probably getting close to 2 hours, so I will free you from this place.
You know,
You
I
can
have a
go.
lot to say, and I'm so sorry about that. I should have told you ahead of
No,
time.
dude. Don't apologize. I apologize. I
No,
I'm grateful we were able to talk about everything that we were. Is
yeah.
there anything else that you have like going on right now, or anything that you will like be up all night if you don't say it? before we hang up?
I mean, I'm trying to get hired at Dreamwalk. I'm waiting for them to respond to me,
Nice.
you know. So hopefully somebody will watch this from Dreamwalk and be like, "Oh, this is a cool guy."
Yeah.
Or
I,
he'll share all of our secrets. I don't know, but
yeah, there's probably pros and cons to if
yeah,
they watch this.
I swear I'm good. I swear I'm good at what I do.
I will say he was appreciated by the if I'm talking to someone from Dreamwalk watching, guests of Evermore did enjoy Shepard's performances.
I
And
did
him.
get asked out a couple of times.
Sorry, say that again.
I did get asked out a couple of times,
Oh yeah. Well,
but
that's probably a different different situation entirely, but
I never texted them. But hey, I got numbers.
are you really an Evermore employee if you aren't like harassed in some fashion?
Oh,
So
I got harassed by old ladies all the time.
it was the old ladies that were really there.
Well, the numbers that I got were from people my age, but
Yeah.
there were a lot of harassments from old ladies.
Gotcha.
I definitely was touched quite a bit by old ladies.
Yeah. I got it was old men for me.
Well, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
it was always old dudes. Um,
Well, pop off, King.
I'll talk I'll talk about that in a different talk time that went
Yeah.
over 2 hours. But
Hey, I hope you do share your experience. I think you should do one where it's just you staring at.
me in both frames,
Yeah,
like yeah, that'd be funny. Cool, but yeah, thank you so much.
yeah.
And I wish you happiness and success and joy in the days and years to come.
You as
And
well. I always appreciate the videos that you put out. I still watch that first video that you put out with Richard Adderley and your meeting the talented Mr. Bagley. I
yeah,
watch that all the time.
man, I loved you guys as the
Yeah.
adventurers that season. That was so fun. So yeah, and a lot of stuff. You've brought joy to many, not just me. So thanks for
Well,
that.
I appreciate that, and hopefully I can get into a place where I can start bringing joy to more people again.
Yeah,
So I'll let you know when that happens.
solid. And best of luck with that. And thanks again. I'm gonna
Yeah, I'm good, bad at goodbyes. So goodbye.
goodbye.